welcome to the Come Together Hub podcast. I'm Georgia.
I'm Nina.
This is Nina. We're going to just be doing a discussion on recovery stuff, really. Routines and, you know, how beneficial it is to have a good routine in your recovery and stuff like that. So yeah, tell us a little bit about your routine at the minute, Nina.
I've got a pretty good routine at the moment. But I kind of plan it at the start of the week. Before the start of the week. So either on a Saturday or a Sunday, I get my planner out and I plan everything that I'm going to do that week. Whether it's appointments, going to the gym, meetings, everything's on there. So there's kind of, you know, I get up in the morning, I look and I'm like, right, that's what I'm doing today. And it's just there. So
it's super organised.
I like to be organised.
See, I've not got that in me, mate. Because I know, like, if I try and plan ahead, it's never going to happen. Do you know? I sort of kind of just try and keep it in the day of like, and once I get up and I've done my readings and I've done my prayers and I've done what I need to do for my recovery, then I can sort of navigate whether or not I'm going to be able to function today.
I think that makes me really uncomfortable. So, you know, I like to get up and know what I do. I do the same thing every morning. I have the same amount of cups of coffee. Everything's exactly, you know, but I have it and it's so structured, but I need that because, you know, when I was, you know, drinking and everything, it was just so chaotic and you know I like it and I like living that way and it keeps me on the straight and narrow. So when I get up I don't really have to think about what I'm going to do in that day. There's no sort of other options coming into my head. It's like, this is what I'm doing.
I read a reading yesterday and it was saying how blessed you are, and people take it for granted, don't they? Getting their head on a pillow overnight, getting up in the morning, taking the kids to school, you know, picking the kids up from school, making tea, doing bedtimes, doing bath times. People get kind of like, people see that as kind of like a chore, and we don't actually realise how blessed we are that we're capable of doing that kinds of stuff. Because when we're in active addiction, things like getting up in the morning and a school run, it's like, you know, take you under that. It's like, no, you have a day off today.
But things like having the washing done, so all my washing's done and things like that, you just feel quite...
Manageability.
Yeah, it's a relief, isn't it? I get up every day and I check the wash basket and it's like, right, it's done, I feel it, and it's done, and I just feel like I'm managing it.
Yeah, my morning routine of recovery sort of keeps me in check. So like, last week, my sort of recovery was like a bit all over the place because I was unsure on a few things, so I'd kind of just put my recovery on hold, and I realised throughout throughout last week, everything around me become unmanageable. So my washing didn't get done, my dishes didn't get done because I was in a mental state of sort of like, can't sort of process anything right now, and the only sort of things that I could do was like my readings, you know. It was kind of like a tunnel vision that I've got to get to a meeting, I've got to get connected, I've got to like send these messages, and I've got to do this, but everything else sort of like was like quite unmanageable.
But that happens, doesn't it? Because you can't live in that routine throughout your whole life. So things like you go away, for instance. So went away not too long ago, and that was 2 nights away from home. You know, I wasn't able to do the things that I usually do. But, you know, I enjoyed the 2 days away, but I felt it because I wasn't, you know, and they were planned, they were on me, you know, I've got a monthly calendar, I've got a weekly calendar, I've got a day list, but they were on there. So I knew they were coming up and I knew I wasn't going to be able to do things the way that I normally do. But as soon as I got back from them 2 days, straight back into my routine and making sure that I'm back. And I felt better, like almost immediately once I started doing them things, because yes, I enjoyed it. And I, you know, you've got to enjoy them things, but you know, you've got to have that balance as well.
That's what the kind of reading today was like, prioritising your meetings and fitting your life in around your recovery. Yeah. You know, so that's like sort of like for an addict, like for me personally, I can only speak for myself kind of, but like for me, if I prioritise my recovery and prioritise my meetings, like everything else in life sort of falls into place. Like I find living life pretty easy when I'm working a program.
But you can't fit your recovery around your life. You've got to do it.
Deal with life. Yeah. Like if I'm not prioritising my recovery, the thought of actually doing bedtime with Remy is like, stick her in the car, we'll go for a drive. Do you know what I mean? Because I haven't taken care of my spiritual self, so I do find them like just normal daily tasks quite difficult. Whereas when I do prioritise and I go to a meeting or, you know, do a bit of step work or do something for my recovery, you know, I do find life a lot easier.
Yeah, I find that, you know, first thing in the morning as well, talking or, you know, messaging other recovering addicts as well, that's a really good thing to do, because then you're sharing the same experience, or you're sharing your feelings, and you're not bottling them up, and straight away you've started the day by opening up, and, you know, that's it then. You're just open for anything then for the rest of the day.
Yeah, mine's gratitude list, you know. I've done a gratitude list like every day now for about 4 years.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just wrote 10 things, and sometimes it's like the same, do you know what I mean? It's like being clean, you know, waking up clean, Remy, you know, my family, you know, meeting that I've been to, kind of thing. Just 10 things, and that sort of like, because I was listening to something yesterday, and it said like gratitude isn't an external thing, it's an internal thing. So if externally I'm like picking up on things that I'm grateful for, it changes my internal like well-being into gratefulness, rather than, you know, he's a dickhead, she's a dickhead.
Well, I've just started to do nightly inventories, so that's kind of quite similar to that.
Yeah.
So my nightly inventory. So
what are you grateful for today?
Yeah, what am I grateful? But also, you know, what have I done today, and have I harmed anybody? Have I done anything that, you know, I could have done better?
Yeah.
Have I thought about other people? Have I just been in self? So it's a really good way of reflecting, and, you know, that feeds into my whole, you know, it's another type of routine.
That's like good, because when you think you've had a bad day and you actually look back and all the positive things that you've done, you can go like, right, like it wasn't actually that bad.
Yeah, but then equally I can look back and I can think about what conversations I've had in that day, who I've been talking to, have I maybe said or done something without thinking about the other person's feelings, and it makes me a lot more aware of how I behave. And, you know, I really do appreciate that, because when you're in it sometimes in the day, you don't realise that you've said something, or you've maybe done something that, you know, a year ago I would never have identified, and I certainly wouldn't have apologised for it. You know, I like to think that 9 times out of 10, if I do say something out of 10, that I'd apologise straight away, but that doesn't always happen. That's not real life, you know. And
depends how you're feeling at the time, doesn't it?
It does as well, and, you know, especially if you live with somebody as well and it's your partner, you tend to kind of be like, I'm not apologising, I wasn't in the wrong. But, you know, if you sit down at night and you think about it and you think, oh yeah, maybe I was in the right, and, you know, sometimes you can't always say them words, but you can do something.
Yeah, like I find that my response is worse than what that person's actually done.
Yeah.
So that's what I owe the apology for, do you know what I mean? I can only decide what's acceptable for me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I can't be pointing out other people, which I do like to do sometimes.
We all do.
Shouldn't be doing that. I have to tell myself, stay in my lane, stay in your own lane, put your blinkers on.
But that's why we talk to other people as well, isn't it? That's why we get these things off, because, you know, sometimes our perception of what's actually happened is very different. You know, you talk that through with somebody else and they're like, oh, you know, they maybe kind of help direct you to, you know, maybe you did blow things out of proportion.
100%.
And it might be because of how you were feeling, and it's not actually anything that the other person's done. So, yeah, it's...
Yeah, it's like, ties in with that. Your thoughts affect your feelings, which affect your behaviour, which affects your reality, doesn't it? You know, and how you go about things. Because definitely with me, it's like when I feel unwell. If I feel unwell, like everyone around me's getting it. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm just trying to I don't like what's going on the inside.
Yeah.
Especially if I'm stuck in self-pity because I've got a cold. Like, just a common cold to send me under completely. And I'm like, why is no one's looking after me? And, you know, and then I start being a bitch.
Yeah, I don't like being ill at all. You know, I like, because then you're right, you haven't got the energy for anything then, and you start to feel just really sorry for yourself, and you sit in that self-pity. And it's just like, you know, but that's kind of not where we need to be. We don't need to be sitting in self-pity. So, yeah, when you start to feel a bit under the weather.
It's great when you're in a place where you can identify it. Which, like, the other week I kind of did it. It took me a while. I'd already, like, stamped my feet and flung my dummy out my pram, and then I was like, right, I'm just going to go to a meeting because I know I'm not okay right now, and I know that everyone else is going to get it in the neck. So I knew what I was doing. Do you know what I mean? And although, like, I couldn't probably stop myself, I did what I had to do around that to sort of make sure that it didn't escalate.
But we're really lucky that we've got that as well. You know, we've got that place that we can go to. You know, that's on my gratitude list.
Yeah.
You know, I'm grateful that when I do feel like that, I can go to a meeting, I can connect with other addicts, and I can tell, even if I don't tell anyone how I'm feeling, I will feel better coming out of there, because, you know, it's medicine. It's medicine
for us, isn't it?
Yeah, so
Yeah. Thanks for that, Nina.
thank you.
And thanks for watching. We'll subscribe, follow, share, and yeah, give us any feedback that you have. Thank you.
Thanks.